So the beginning of the revolt of 1857 started at Barakpur, where the Indian soldiers refused to use the greased cartridges. And there was a Brahmin soldier named Mangal Pandey. He uh, attacked one of the officials, British officials, and he was arrested and hanged to death. After this, from there, when this thing happened at Barakpur, the rebel spread to Meerut, then to Delhi, Lucknow, Kanpur, and central India, Jhansi, Gwalior, and other centers. So at Delhi, Bahadur Shah Zafar was the leader of the revolt. Lucknow, Begum Hazrat Mahal, who was the wife of the Nawab of Awadh, led the rebel. Kanpur, Nana Sahib and Tantia Tope, and in central India, Jhansi, of course, Rani Lakshmi Bai took over the revolt. There were other centers were at Faizabad, Bihar. These were the other centers where the rebel happened. Now, if you look at the map, the dark green color, all these places were the main centers of the revolt of 1857, where the revolt happened. So these were the main centers. The next topic is consequences of the First War of Independence. Now, a very significant change that happened after the First War of Independence was that the company's rule, East India Company's rule, 100 years of rule came to an end. Now the power was transferred from East India Company to the British Crown and the British Parliament. So that was a very, very significant change. Now, there were members of the British cabinet that was appointed as the Secretary of States in India, and Lord Canning, who was the first Viceroy of India under the Government of India Act 1858. So it's a very one marker question. ये पूछा जाता है board exam में कि who was the first Viceroy of India? So Lord Canning was the first Viceroy of India under the Government of India Act 1858. That was first significant, or you can say major change that happened after the revolt of 1857. Now, there was Queen Victoria's proclamation. Now, Lord Canning announced what the Government of India Act said, a policy of non-intervention in social and religious matters. So, as like we have discussed in the previous videos, that there were a lot of social interference by the East India Company. So that policy of non-intervention was to be followed in the social and religious matters, and they decided that everybody would be treated equally, which didn't eventually happen. There was still a racial discrimination that was happening, but yes, according to the Queen Victoria's proclamation, it was decided that all subjects will be treated equally. Now, they also decided that they would grant pardon to all those who have taken part in the war. हर उस व्यक्ति को माफी मिलेगी जिन्होंने किसी भी ब्रिटिश सोल्जर्स को जान से नहीं मारा है. If there is no blood in the hands of the Indian people, like for killing the white people, then they would be granted pardon. So that was one thing that was decided. And yes, and industrialization would happen in India. They would make advances to set up industries in India. So these are the few important decisions that were taken after the revolt of 1857. जो इम्पॉर्टेंट चीज ये हुई दैट मुगल और पेशवा का जो रूल था वो खत्म कर दिया गया विद द डेथ ऑफ बहादुर शाह जफर हु वाज डिपोज टू रंगून. ठीक है, जो आज प्रेजेंट बर्मा में है. और मुगल डायनेस्टी केम टू एन एंड. नाना साहब ऑल्सो फ्लेड टू नेपाल आफ्टर द फेलियर ऑफ द अपराइजिंग. So that is how the Maratha rule also came to an end. Or relationship with the princely state, that is the policy of annexation and doctrine of lapse was abolished. Now जिसकी वजह से ये सारा war हुआ, उसमें से कुछ important points ये थे that doctrine of lapse was one of the major causes of the revolt of 1857, or policy of expansion, that is through wars and through doctrine of lapse. These were the important reasons for the रिवोल्ट ऑफ 1857, उसको अबैंडन कर दिया गया, उसको खत्म कर दिया गया. Then the policy of divide and rule, that is, turning princes against the people, and provinces against provinces, and caste against caste, and groups against group, above Hindu and Muslim were like put against each other. So that policy of divide and rule actually basically started because this is how they wanted to रूल ओवर इंडिया. इनका ये मकसद था कि कैसे हम अब ये सारी पॉलिसी तो वो अबॉलिश कर रहे थे, तो उनका मकसद था कि कैसे लोगों को अलग करके हम इन पे रूल करें. तो द पॉलिसी ऑफ डिवाइड एंड रूल वाज एक्चुअली followed after the revolt of 1857. Then there was a racial antagonism, that is British believed that they were the superior race. और आज भी हिंदुस्तान में बहुत सारे ऐसे लोग हैं जो ये बिलीव करते हैं that white people are the superior race and they are the inferior race. So this mindset has still not changed, and British, of course, they believed that they were the superior race. Then the Indians, of course, the railway compartments, the park, the hotels, the clubs, etc., they were all reserved for the European people. And so were the residential areas, which were called the civil lines area, were reserved for the Indians. So that is, these were some of the changes that eventually happened after the revolt of 1857. Indian foreign policy was also dictated by the interest of the British government. The aim was to protect the Indian empires and expand the economic and commercial interest of the Britishers in Asia and Africa. So that was the main intention. Of course, it increased the racial bitterness. British dubbed all Indians as unworthy, and they didn't trust after the revolt of 1857. उनका ये मानना था कि Indians loyal नहीं हैं, और especially the Muslims, they targeted them, and they remodeled and they restructured the whole Indian government based on the idea of superior race, which was the Europeans. They were given all the cream positions in the Indian administration, and that is how the rule was remodeled again after the revolt of 1857. Now there was religious changes. The British declared that they will not interfere into the religious affairs of the Indians, and of course the customs, the traditions that were followed by the Indians would stay as it is, and they will not interfere, because they could see that this was the main reason for the Indians to rebel against the East India Company, because they believed that the government was interfering into their religious matters. So that was one decision that was taken by the British government in England, that they will not interfere into the religious matters of India. Now, one very important thing that happened after the revolt of 1857, though the revolt was a failure, but it led to the rise of nationalism in India. People started feeling that there is a chance to overthrow the British government from India, and that is how the sacrifices of Nana Sahib, Rani Lakshmi Bai, Mangal Pandey, they were a source of inspiration for others in the coming future. The heroic struggle also established a valuable tradition of resistance of the British rule. So, rise of nationalism was one of the important thing that came out of the after the revolt of 1857. Now there were changes in the army. The army, which was the main reason for the mutiny, was there was a complete reshuffling done. The strength of the European troops in India was increased, and European troops were kept in key geographical locations, and all the important military positions were given to the European officers and soldiers. Now there was discrimination on the basis of caste, religion, and region, and the recruitment was done on the basis of the area from where the rebel had not happened, that is Punjab, the Kashmir area, and the southern part of India, because these were the areas who didn't participate in the rebel. So most of the recruitment in the army, ज़्यादातर जो भर्ती थी आर्मी में, वो सब के सब इन areas से ज़्यादा की गई as compared to the areas which were involved in the revolt of 1857. So, in order to discourage nationalism, there were certain measures that were taken. That is, newspapers, journals, and other nationalist publications were prevented from reaching the soldiers. Na paper पहुंचेगा, na journal पहुंचेगा, na koi information पहुंचेगी. So the soldiers will not be able to know what's happening in the country and how the national movement is taking for, unfolding. So that is one reason why there was a lot of changes done in the army to prevent any kind of further rebel in the army. And all the sophisticated weapons and ammunitions that were used or stored in the army, important places in the regiments, were kept away from the Indian soldiers so that कि आगे कोई इस तरह का विद्रोह ना हो, वो ये weapons का इस्तेमाल ना कर पाए in a large group, so that all the sophisticated weapons and ammunitions were kept away from the charge of the Indians. So that was one major change that was made in the army. Now, of course, economic exploitation was happening and it still continued even after the revolt of 1857. India was turned into a typical colonial economic exploitation. Raw materials were exported and, finished goods were imported to India, and Indian cottage industry and handicraft industries because of this collapsed, क्योंकि हर चीज जो इंडिया से जा रही थी वो सस्ते दामों में वहां बेची जा रही थी, which the Indian craftsmen and the weavers, they could not compete with the industrial goods of the Britain. So salaries of the Indian soldiers and military officers and council members were taken from the Indian resources. So ये सारे reasons थे जो इंडिगो peasants थे, उन्होंने भी बिहार में revolt कर दिया against the planters, and that is how the economic exploitation continued. There was a widening gulf between the Hindus and the Muslims. The policy of divide and rule war, which was, the seed which was sowed by the East India Company, between the two communities, just, widened the gulf between Hindus and Muslims. तो ये जो gap था वो और बढ़ता चला गया Hindus और Muslims के बीच में, which eventually, उनका ये बहुत clear था कि इन दिस रिवोल्ट हिंदू और मुस्लिम दोनों साथ आके रिवोल्ट के पार्ट बने थे. इस वजह से ये रिवोल्ट ये विद्रोह इतना बड़ा हुआ था, एंड दे वांटेड टू प्रिवेंट देम फ्रॉम कमिंग टुगेदर इन फ्यूचर. So they kept sowing this seed of divide and rule thing, and that is how they kept the Hindus and Muslim away from each other to avoid any kind of further rebel. These were the consequences of the war, and 4-marker question that usually comes in your board exam regarding the consequences of the war. 3-marker question bhi aata hai is pe. So please make sure you do this point properly. Now the last topic is the drawbacks of the first war of independence. The main cause for the revolt of 1857 to fail was that there was no common cause for the people who joined the war. Like जो रूलर्स थे उनके पास अपने वजह थी वॉर में आने की, उनको अपना राज्य वापस चाहिए था. जो आर्टिजन्स और पेजेंट्स थे उनको लेस टैक्सेस में काम करना था, उनको कम लैंड रेवेन्यूज पे करने थे. जो जमींदार थे उनकी जमीनें जो चली गई थी उनको वो जमीन वापस चाहिए थी. जो सोल्जर्स थे दे वर स्ट्रगलिंग फॉर देयर इक्वल राइट्स. सो ऑल ऑफ देम, हर के पास अपनी वजह थी, सेपरेट रीजंस थे वॉर को ज्वाइन करने का. सो देयर वाज लैक ऑफ कॉमन cause for the people who joined the war, and then there was of course lack of planning. There was no organization who would take up the war, and there was lack of leadership. Then there was lack of resources in terms of men and money. पैसे की कमी थी, लोगों की कमी थी to continue the war. Then the movement did not have a nationwide dimension like it that there were many parts of the country which were not part of the war, like the North region, the Punjab region, the South region. They were not part of the war, and they had no intention to join the war. And then, of course, some of the rulers and big zamindars, they refused to join the movement. So that is another reason why the movement failed. Some sections of the Indian society were also hostile to the uprising. They didn't agree that, it was the right thing to rebel against the government. So uh, these were the main reasons why the war was a complete failure. These were the drawbacks of the first war of independence, and that sums up your chapter. I hope the chapter is clear to you. If you have any questions, you can just let me know in the comment section and we'll answer it. Thank you so much.